Gen Z,
No.
but there's no Gen Y.
No, Millennium is still Y.
No, they said millennials.
But it's still Gen Y.
Me never hear nobody say Gen Y yet. Damn, boy, what is Gen Y? We not have no damn Gen Y.
All them have Gen for every other one with a letter.
Aye.
And then there's, no, Gen Y is
Everybody wants to
Millennium.
They're out of order. It's out of order,
Gen
right?
Y is a Millennium, man.
Damn man, I talk about
Google
Gen
it.
Y.
Google it. Google it.
Yo,
Eh?
T, you on the, you know.
I'm going all of this too.
Damn
Well,
Gen Y. For OCD
No.
person,
No.
it would bother them because
Just
Gen.
Yo.
It makes sense though. Gen X and the millennium. Then
What
Gen
is the
Z.
range of Gen Y? 25 to 40 years old. I tell you,
Everybody look at Vail.
Millennial is Gen Y. Millennial is Gen Y.
Say happy
Listen,
birthday to
you
Vail,
think so they
everybody.
skip everything? Come
But
on,
you say
man.
millennial. It didn't
Millennial
say
is Gen Y.
if you say so.
No, I'm not say so.
You're a Gen Y then.
That says so.
You're a Gen Y?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I know.
Okay.
Yeah, baby boomer.
Gen-
Yeah, I know. I thought
I'm
he was a baby boomer.
I thought,
Yeah.
wait a minute, Tony, come on, what Gen Y?
I'm a baby boomer.
Millennial is Gen Y according to him.
Yeah.
Because he said X,
Boom.
Y,
Millennials are Gen Y. Yeah.
and
We confirm it now.
okay.
All right,
Mr.
good.
Clean says millennial
Remember,
is
entire speech for that section. You know?
okay. Okay.
All right, so when we're ready, I trying to get my facts
This
straight.
got me.
For,
You cannot go till I get the cocoa. Do not say no, 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 no. Spin like a go-go.
hi guys, welcome to Kicking It with Reecy and Friends. And today we have friend, our guest friend, which hopefully he'll be back again, Mr. Antonio, aka Mr. Clean.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here. Very happy to support Reecy and Friends.
You are a friend now.
Yes, thank you.
And we have our girl Tiffany. It's been a minute since you've been. For a minute, I thought that you just dashed away, no, but
No, I'm still there. I'm still here.
okay. Well, thank you for gracing us with your presence
You're
today.
welcome.
And as usual, we have Miss Chatty Kimberly.
Oy.
You know, it really and truly, we appreciate Kimberly being on.
To know her is to love her. To know her is to love her.
Yes, to know. And today's topic, we're talking about the Gen X, Gen Z, Millennium, all that classification now that they're classing us in by the years that we were born, right? So today, I found out, or should I say, let us break it down. You have the baby boomers, right? That was born, I said 19. I have it here. Hold on. Okay, so the baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. I've heard the term baby boomers before, but I didn't know what year.
Right.
Then we have Gen X. Me and Kim fall in at the Gen X, which is 19
No matter what that, you know. No, man, talk it.
between
Yeah, no.
between 1965 and 1980.
Okay.
That's Gen
Oh,
X.
okay. Yeah, that's what that, yeah, we follow.
Me not tell him what year.
Tim,
I
be
think
careful over there,
you're
you know.
in you're in the silent generation, which is 1928 to 1940.
Lord have mercy, don't make sure you do that. Don't make sure you do that. The silent generation.
The silent generation.
So you know I was born in 1920. The opposite generation.
And I know, and then we have the millennials.
When there is no generation on that.
But the millennials, and according to Mr. Clean, that's Gen Y. Because all them are going to say Gen X and then millennium and not put no, right?
Mr. Y.
Mr. Y. And that's 1981 to 1996. That's
young boy business.
young boy.
Right.
And then we have our ever so loving Gen Z. These are people born 1997 to 2012. And then now, for the grandbabies, they are
I'm babies.
Gen Alpha.
What about say?
Early
We're not 13.
early 2010 to 2025.
Them not even born yet.
They're not even born yet, and they have a.
My son is 2000.
So he'd be Gen Alpha.
Yeah, he's alpha.
Wow.
He's alpha.
No, the reason why I thought this topic was good because there is like growing up as a Gen X and comparing now to the Gen Zs is totally different. The growing up.
I'm so still confused. These gens.
Yeah, like when did they come out with these? But the I think it was interesting to find out how we in regards to work. For example, work ethic, right? Gen Zs, right? They don't have the same work ethic that the millennials have, the Gen X, or even the baby boomers. I think because it's easier for them. Life is easier for them, and everything is more technology, and everything has just been.
And they think they can save the world.
Yeah. And they think they know everything.
That's the Gen X's, right?
They know everything.
No, you know everything.
You
know Gen X.
I'm a Gen X.
Right.
You're a millennial.
Correct.
Yes.
But you're talking about the Gen Z.
No, we're talking about, we're comparing like Gen X, millennials, and the Gen Zs.
Right. So which one you said know everything and the work?
The Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z.
You know everything. She was saying Gen X. Oh. That's why I tried to correct the team. All right. I told you. It's more confused. Gen Z are the new ones.
Gen Zs are the new ones.
You're a Gen X.
So
X, Y, Z.
Well, I know everything.
Yeah.
I know everything.
So what do you think about these the Gen Zs now? Give me your input on.
So I kind of wanted to just do a quick run through with everything. Because back in the day I did a study on these, and with the silent generation, which is also the traditionalists, the reason why they were able to impact future generations was because of the stock market crash of 1929. And because of that crash, you have to remember, it was a
year after I was born.
Sorry,
let you guys know.
You have to remember the reason why they were so excited about the economy and life was because everything was, finally getting to a point where everybody was able to succeed, and then the crash let everybody know that there's some vulnerabilities when it comes to life and the economy. And then that traditionalist silent generation, they became very conservative, so instead of relying on the banks and all that stuff, they decided to keep the monies. It's like, I think the phrase was they put their savings under their mattress. So they no longer relied on the financial institutions because of what happened. And then the generation after that, the Gen X, they decided to not be as conservative anymore because they saw their parents being that way, and their parents limited themselves, and then that led them to really pursue that whole corporate America, Wall Street lifestyle, where they wanted that proverbial corner office, right? So, and after that, then the folks for the next generation, they were more conscious, right? This is where we first started talking about like climate change and all that stuff. So that generation was more into it. And I actually pulled up some notes myself when it comes to the next two generations. And the millennials, technology dictated them by the screens. So a lot of the millennials eventually, because it was the age of technology, were more so into figuring out how we can use the Google, YouTube, and all that stuff. And then the following generation took it up to the next level. And they were born with the iPads in their hands.
Yeah.
And then they were also born with the laptops and eventually getting the cell phones. So the phrase that I picked up with that is, they neglected interpersonal relationships, but they gave voice to social causes. So that brings us to where we are now, right? Like, so your son, he's feeling that it's more of a situation where he can have a bigger impact as an influencer.
Yeah, because he told me he have a dream. So he quit his job because he have a dream.
What was his dream?
His dream is to be a YouTuber and an influencer. I'm like, I have a dream too. But you need to have seed money. I'm not saying that you can't go after your dream, but you have to. I'm like, where are you going to get your capital? Where are you going to get your seed money to fund your dream?
Well, here's the thing.
I said, do you think I want to be working for somebody, but I have to?
But here's the thing. What's happening is with them staying home with their parents, they're not thinking about the responsibility. They're just thinking because they're just home with their parents, so it's easy for them to say they have a dream because it's just like, oh, they're not going to be doing anything, whatever. They could just quit the job. It's no big deal, and let me just go pursue it. It doesn't go like that, just like how you were saying.
Well, me tell people say you have a dream, you need to have a dream outside the out because you're not going to be here while I'm working.
Exactly.
And go have your dream somewhere else.
On YouTube.
Exactly.
And one thing that is not listed on any articles is the fact that, like, for me personally, it's when it comes to the folks that migrated here from other countries, right? Because we saw our parents struggle in countries that were not as successful when it comes to the economy, and opportunities were very limited. So, me personally, I saw what my mom went through, and I appreciate it. I'm always grateful to my mother for doing all that she did. But now, she paved the way for me, and I don't necessarily have to feel all the hard work that she went through. Like, I'm doing the hard lifting, heavy lifting, but it's different. And then the heavy lifting that our kids have to do, it's much different as well. I would say it's light lifting right now.
But they're not respecting that.
So they don't know the hard work that went into getting them to the stage where they are now. So that's the one thing that's missing from this. Is the immigrant experience, or the experience of folks that had to bring their lives and families to this country from other countries.
Exactly.
Agreed with all of that. The funny thing about all of these different gaps and the personalities that go with them, we're forgetting that, personally, I say it all the time, I blame the parents. I blame the parents for Gen Z. I blame the parents for Millennials. I blame the parents for every generation and so forth, because if you look at it through time, the purpose is for the next generation to be able to do better and have it a little easier.
Yes.
Totally. So during the Great Depression, those kids were never inside. They're outside. They're working because that's what you had to do. And every generation, they don't want that for their children. So every generation has their own challenges that makes it easier for the next set to come on. My generation as a millennial, we remember dial-up. We remember rotary phones. We still had those.
Right.
You know what I mean?
AOL.
You got mail. We had one computer in the living room.
If you had one
at all. Right. I had phones with cords that you hold up here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So now I'm looking at these kids with the and I'm like, you know how long it took me to get that?
True.
So it's always going to happen. That is history. That's evolution.
Yes.
And that's simply what it is, evolution. And not only that, you might have come from a different generation where, obviously, you come from a different generation where maybe your discipline was different. Maybe it was on a harsher level. So you said, all right, when I have kids, I won't do that to my child. Right. And so forth and so forth. So a lot of these Gen Zers, which honestly I admire, right? Number one, they got the gentle parenting. Good for them.
They got the what?
Gentle parenting. Or these, what do you call them now? Alphas or whatnot?
Yeah.
They're definitely getting the gentle parenting.
Yes.
But even the Gen Zers, they have such a I don't give a F attitude that I love and admire. Because your generation... I hope
Dimitri's not going to be watching this.
No, but here's the thing, right? Your generation, you have to work hard. You have to work 2-3 jobs.
Yes.
And you don't want that for your child.
Right.
You do the next step where they have this, they have that, but they don't know where that is coming from. Because if you don't teach them and they don't see it, they don't know. You can't blame someone for being ignorant. But if you expose them to these things, then we'd have more hardworking Gen Zers or whatever
because you want to call by the parents.
Right.
Exactly.
Because we do so much that sometimes we end up crippling them and we don't even realize.
Because the parents, what they're doing right now, they're involving themselves in the same thing that, like the social medias and all that stuff. So they're really not thinking about teaching them the correct way of being and doing things like working hard or whatever. They're over there the same way doing social media. So if you see your mom over there, she's on that. I see this all the time. Yeah. She's on social media on her phone. She's killing it because she's doing all her stuff. She's doing all her stuff. And here she is.
Yes. And then you see the baby.
There was a picture, a girl saw her mom. Her mom had a really nice figure. She had her little tube top. She had her little whatever. And she was doing her little picture. And the girl... The picture, somebody took the picture, and the girl that was about 12 or 13 was standing in the background looking at her mom.
You're tuned in to an unparalleled listening experience. featuring non-stop hits from your favorite artists, engaging talk shows and interviews, exciting events and promotions. So, whether you're a music aficionado or just looking for some good vibes, Good Vibes Radio has got you covered. Good Vibes Radio, where we spread good vibes every day.
Everybody knows when it's getting too hot, you need to cool off. So contact Stay Cool for all your AC needs, repairs, installations, and servicing. Make sure to call 954-822-4784 or 407-684-5665 and stay cool.
Go till I get the cocoa. Do not say no, 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 no. Slim like a go-go.
12 or 13 was standing in the background looking at her mom. And her mom is, and this is what's happening. And this is why our kids are thinking it's okay to just have that and all that. When you don't have a parent, going back to what you were saying, the parents are not teaching them 2-3 jobs. It's okay to work to get what you want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the young girls now, hard work. So what do you think the young girl who was looking at her mother says? If she get in the camera and expose her body and do the same thing, then maybe she'll get some likes and get all these kind of things and stuff, right?
Well, you say something that's so funny because grandma is used to working in the hospital, right? That she whatever. She don't put no respect on my job. She said you don't do nothing. I'm like, Grandma, I'm on the computer. She think because I'm on the computer all day, it's not working. And I'm like, Grandma, but she's used to going in and whatever. Right. And she's like, what are you doing? Working. What kind of work? If I say I'm tired, what are you tired? What are you doing that you're tired? I remember when I was working in the hospital. I'm like, so you make a good point right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's happening. So that they're she's looking at her and saying that's hard work. That's what she's doing. My mom is doing it. My mother is doing it. So it's okay. So it's all right to do that.
But you know what is so funny? There's this girl on Gen Z, and she's like, I just can't do this 9 to 5. Where will I have time to meet friends and to go out and have a life? I have to be stuck here 9 to 5. I'm like, you need to work when I used to work.
When you start paying bills and everything, then you'll be a different story. You won't be talking like that. But when you're staying underneath mom's roof and she's allowing you to stay in a room in there and not doing anything but be on your TV, be on your computer, be on your phone, and that's the only thing that you could possibly do because you're now doing your YouTubes and all that stuff. That's unacceptable. That was what Demetrius told me.
Yeah,
like it's unacceptable.
Now, mind you, he did not have a 40-hour work week. Right? You know, I'm trying to drop my line. He's dropping his line. Okay, he's doing his YouTube. I don't have time. I'm like, boy, you work 20 hours a week. Okay? You come home and him sleep. Okay, you sleep, you get up. There's 24 hours in a day. Okay? You just need to plan out your day. Time management.
That's because they want to be on that. So they want to do that YouTube and
Mommy, I got so many likes. Mommy, look at this. I got so many likes.
That's what got them.
I blame the parents.
So there are two things that I think about when it comes to this, right? And I have to, me personally, I need to make sure that I identify with the opposing argument, right? So the two things that come to mind is they're focused on immediate gratification, right? They're seeing this all the time. You don't know what these YouTubers are doing or how long they've done it to get to the point where they are. So it looks easy, right? Whereas before, we know that someone had to climb through the ranks in a company to get to the VP position. But now it looks like, they're making so many fun videos. They don't see the outtakes. They don't see the ones that fail. They don't see the fact that they've had like 10 different pages and, they don't really expose the flaws in the process, right? So immediate gratification is the only thing that exists to some of these folks. But and then also the other side, that's a benefit to them. Remember, I'm on the other side of it right now, is the fact that there have been jobs, opportunities, and careers that came from this. from the new way of thinking, the new generations and everything. And one that struck me is like DEI. Like DEI those are new positions that never existed
What?
before.
The what?
DEI,
What's that?
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, thank you.
So
brand
DEI positions weren't there before, and now they're prominent. Now I know that there are challenges in certain countries, like Florida's having issues. Sorry, not countries, but states. Florida's having issues. Texas, with the more conservative governments, but positions that didn't exist before, where they were more so like hands off, not like ingrained when it comes to the culture that we were familiar with, those are becoming more prominent. And now we have the advancement of AI, which is coming up now. So everybody feels like I feel like it's gonna put people in positions where they're going to want to pursue those types of careers. But me being a new father, son is 17 years, big up Nolan, Noli Poly, the guy them Rolly. I gotta be,
Who's a
but-
Gen Alpha?
yeah, Gen Alpha. But all seriousness, being a father and bringing up a child in this new generation, I have to figure out a way to harness the strength of those challenges. Right?
Absolutely.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that. Please, everybody, listen to that. Did you hear that? Say it again, T.
Harness the strength of those challenges for the new generation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
These are all upcoming new fathers, guys.
And I agree with
Yeah.
you. And even just to piggyback on that side of the spectrum, one thing I can say about these Gen Zers and alphas, whatever.
Say like the Gen Z.
I do. No, let me tell you why.
Dimitri will love you.
No, let me tell you why. Because due to advancement in technology, internet, they have access to so much more.
Unlimited.
Things that we never had access to.
Agreed.
We only know what's in our little square, what's in our little city, what's in our little town.
Yep.
We have no clue what's happening on the other side of the world.
Right.
We have no clue what's happening in the other state.
Right.
You couldn't keep up with people, and not only people, news articles where you have access to it immediately. If you want to know something, you go on Google and you search that, Millennials are technically older than Google, you guys.
Yeah.
We didn't have a
98.
Google going on.
Exactly.
Never have
Exactly.
Google. We had an
Yeah.
encyclopedia.
Exactly. You took it out of my
1998.
mouth.
That's it.
Yeah.
We had Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
So even doing like projects in school, you
Yep.
had to get an encyclopedia
Yeah.
to
That's
get
it.
your research.
Yeah.
So our knowledge was limited to what we really had access to. So now
Point.
people are seeing, we got this generation. They are like, wait, what did y'all go through? I'm sorry, who did what?
Yeah.
No, we will not stand for that. We will not.
Yep.
Just because your grandmother or grandfather had to put up with it, absolutely not.
Yeah.
These 40-hour weeks, why?
Yes,
Because if
they-
you think about it,
It's true.
we grew up on that. You work 40 years,
Yes,
you
yes,
retire at
retire-
65.
Yes.
But when you stop and you break it down, you're like, wait a minute, I spend my entire life working with a life expectancy of, let's say, 77. So I stop working at 65.
And
to
then
enjoy
in 10
what-
years.
Yeah,
10 years.
literally.
Yeah.
Right.
And by
True.
the grace of God, they have access to these things now and full visibility where they're like, yeah, I don't see myself doing that.
No, they
And they standing on business.
And they are
Yeah.
standing on
They
business.
are standing
Yes,
on
they are.
business,
Yes, yep.
and they are not apologetic about
No.
it. If
And
they're
I,
sick,
and I love that.
I love that
I
for
love-
them.
that's
I
one thing
love
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
I will not have to
I
need to watch
love
this
it.
episode.
Agreed.
No,
Because
but
here's
you're
the
not
thing.
thinking about
It's
it
the
now.
truth. Because why do you want your son to work 40 hours a week, nonstop? What, 2 weeks worth of vacation for the entire year? What kind of life that? That's not a life. And now we're able to see that that's not an actual quality of life. That is what the millennials and the silent era had to do to get us where we are today.
Right.
Why do we still have to keep doing that?
Right. Which you shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't. That was a survival thing.
Yeah.
We're no longer in survival mode.
Agreed.
So
And
I love
and
them for doing that.
corporations,
do
they
love
were
that.
trying to take advantage of the workforce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
only thing about it is while he's home, just don't up and quit your damn job, though.
No,
You know what I mean?
there's
Do that on the
balance.
side, right?
There-
You know,
that's
because guess
That was
what?
my whole point.
But I blame
want
the
you to
parents.
do that.
Hold on. I blame the parents. Did you teach him this type of
What do you mean?
discipline?
Seeing mother-
I'm not
what
talking.
do you mean seeing
I'm
mother
not
work?
talking about seeing. I'm
You
talking
see,
about
of course I
talking to
tell
him and explaining to
Of
him.
course, I tell him that he need to work.
Oh, okay.
Of course. And I
It's
tell him
more
that-
than need to work.
No,
though.
I tell him there's no way I'm gonna have this no job, 3 jobs, and you sitting down here talking about you have a dream? No, we all have dreams.
We all have dreams.
We all have dreams.
Right. Exactly.
I don't play that.
Yeah.
No.
None of that.
See,
And and also too, I say he has to contribute to the house. I give him that because you need to know what it's like.
so hold on. Question: how old is he?
He's gonna be 21 this year.
So when did he start contributing to the house? Has he ever contributed to the house?
Yes.
Starting when?
When he have a job.
When was that?
2 years ago.
So he got his first job at 19?
Yes. Because
Okay.
Well,
I'm just asking questions.
Hold on, Dr. Phil, calm down.
No. Let me tell you, one thing with my kids, my kids work.
Good.
You understand? That I give them, right? And they need to go out there. None of my kids are going to sit down home and talk about, oh, they're building a bit. Listen, I have a dream and I have a business, but I have to work to fund it.
Yeah.
And
I
that
said,
business ed.
Yes,
That's
I
the
said
thing.
you have to.
So you have to teach
I'm
them
not
that
telling
part.
you that
Yeah.
you can't have your business
Right.
or your
Not saying
dream.
that. Definitely not saying
No,
that.
not saying that.
No, not
but
at
you
all.
have to work. You have to have seed money
You have
to
to learn-
fund.
And you have to learn how to be responsible.
Yes.
You have to be financially.
Yeah, oh no, none of my
That's
kids
right.
gonna sit down while I'm
Yeah.
busting my
And they
behind.
shouldn't.
Go ahead. And
They
they're
absolutely
boys.
shouldn't.
And
It's
they're
a must.
boys too.
So
Listen.
That man,
Can
it's
I-
a must
Sorry.
one.
Yes.
No, that's good.
I just go hot.
This is a hot topic, you know, and I love every viewpoint. I mean, this is more so for Reecy still, you know, but I wanted to for those that are watching the program, if we could all give them 1 or 2 tips or advice when it comes to making sure that you acknowledge what's going on with the current workforce, technology, so on and so forth, your generation, the likelihood that you'll be put in certain situations. Just a few points and tips of advice for them.
I love, and I think because my boys see that I'm doing this, doing a business, creating a business, and I think that's why they jumped on and they have their own clothing line, whatever. I love that, and I support them because if I support strangers, why am I not going to support my boys, my kids, right?
Shout it out.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh,
It's new turn.
yes. She outside. So I support them, but at the same time, I want to get. All right. One of them, I say, since you guys going into business, go to school and do some business courses.
There you go.
You need to learn to know how. One was like, oh, I'm going to take a course on they see it online. You know those little things that you see that come up and say, oh, you want to grow your business. You can. I'm like, go to school. You're going to be a businessman, right? Take some business courses. I ain't saying you need to get an MBA in business.
And first
you
learn
need
how and
to
find out
know
all the
the
steps of opening
basics.
up a business. Exactly.
Because that was my problem.
That was mine.
I wanted to have
we
an
never
office.
had all that
We
stuff
never
and
had
everything
that.
like that. So I
wanna-
keep trying to tell people.
I want to have an office.
The
I wanted
access.
this. Listen, it's more than
That's
having an office. Okay.
Yeah, you have to bring
What?
them down.
Yes.
You think
and
it's
then
the only thing
to
I'm supposed to be
reality.
doing is just doing facials and
Yes.
treatments in there?
So let me give you
Exactly.
this joke, right? I saw this lady
There's that business side.
on social media or whatever. So she has all her kids, and so she gives them money, like Monopoly money or whatever. And she's like, all right, don't forget when you're doing your expenses, your rent is $1,200. And her little teenager had a conniption. She was like, what? She was like, I'm already broke and I haven't even gotten paid yet. And so it's like this reality
that's
for
good. Yes.
them. But you have to
That's
start
good.
them young for them to understand the value of a dollar.
And I think
Exactly.
we should
And
introduce
that's where we messed up.
finance.
I love
Yes,
it.
I
It
never
is a
thought
good
about
idea.
that.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
is
why
really
I'm saying
good.
that, because I'm never knocking anyone's parenting. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is giving them real life examples.
I have to
of
because
what it
I
really
don't want them
means.
to make the same mistake that I made.
Exactly.
You understand?
But not,
They're going to
remember
make
now.
some, but you
Of
don't
course.
want those. You
Right.
know?
Yes, and keep in mind, no, everybody learns differently. Some people might be visual learners, or some people might be auditory, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Maybe you have to throw them into that scenario.
Right.
Because the worst thing for me is to see an adult or someone who recently turned an adult move out, for example, go somewhere, and they cannot stand on their own 2 feet. Because this is the first time they've been thrown into this scenario. To
Yes.
be responsible for anything.
Yes.
Or even have to manage their money.
And I think that every kid, Gen Zer, that wants to go into the business need to do they should do a financial
Literacy
course.
And
to
my thing
guide,
is
you know, give them the basics of how, because they just think that, oh,
And they have
standing
great
up-
ideas. They
They
just
do.
don't have the
The
ideas.
business.
They don't
And
have
that's
that
the one
business
thing that I
sense.
was just gonna say.
Yeah,
My little
they
thing
have
that I was
great
gonna
ideas.
say is just make sure you stay true to yourself.
Yes.
If that's something that you really want to do, make sure it's something that you really want to do.
So
and
Absolutely.
and work towards it. Work towards it. It's not like you can just up and do that. Stop your job and
No,
then
don't
just
do
start.
that.
But
opening
listen,
a
this is
business.
what
It
I
doesn't
took.
go
This is
like
what I
that.
tell him.
Just
I
make sure
said,
you're true to what you're
I don't
doing.
care what you do. Once
Work towards it.
once you're supposed to give me money at one time, you gonna figure it out because I gotta show him tough love. I can't be like, oh,
No, it's called responsibility.
Yeah,
You're fine.
yeah.
It's
So guess
called
what?
responsibility.
so I see him.
Exactly.
So now I see him doing a little
Right.
DoorDash and his Instacart,
Right.
and I'm like, okay.
But you can't not be in the house quitting your job.
That's the
only
whole
thing.
thing.
Right.
I'm telling him
No,
I
you
have a
can't do
dream
that.
too. Everybody have a
Everybody
dream.
has a dream.
Right.
It really like got me. But hey,
Yeah.
once you're not selling drugs out there, do what you gotta do.
And if you
Yeah.
are, do it
Right.
well.
Yeah.
I think there were some great corners that you
Yes,
did.
yes.
So
So
nice.
So just to recap it real fast, because I want to make sure that the audience understands. So, Reecy, you had some great points. So picking the right major, business is probably the best bet if that's your thing. Financial literacy, learn the pitfalls, and don't stop your current job.
don't quit.
Don't quit, but at the same time, be true to yourself.
Yes.
Awesome. Love
Good.
it.
And with that being said, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Reecy, Kicking It with Reecy and Friends. And we thank
Peace.
Mr. Clean for coming. Listen, you need to come on our, you need to come.
I do that at the beginning.
Yeah. What, Mr. Clean? Oh, okay. And thank you, and join us next time on Kicking It with Reecy and Friends.
Friends.
Bye, guys.
You're listening to Good Vibes Online Radio Station, your ultimate destination for music and entertainment, where we spread good vibes every day.
You cannot go till I get the cocoa. Do not say no, no. No, no, no. Slim like a go-go. Up down like a yo-yo. Do not say no, no. No, no, no. Girl, you know you're cocoa. Drive me loco. Up and down the pogo. Sweet like a soko. Got me in a chokehold. Oh no. Pump it like some Noco. Cuffing season pop.